As word spread about the medical campus's advanced healthcare services, many sick and homeless residents of Pine Harbor County flocked to Alders Bend in search of healing and support for themselves and loved ones. As the population swelled, the nearby services in Woodbine, Ashton, and Brayburn became strained, and many began to withdraw their aid from Alders Bend. After all, how were they to help the residents of Alders Bend when the residents in Brayburn, Ashton, and Woodbine needed assistance as well? Before withdrawing, however, the county councilmen came together and funded a plan to provide Alders Bend their own services as well as public transportation options. But a vaccine for the pandemic was still out of reach. So would these services aid the ailing people of Pine Harbor County or decrease the county's ailing budget instead? Heyo and welcome to another episode of Pine Harbor County, where we will use and abuse the new operating district mechanic that was introduced in Cities Skylines 2. In the last episode, we built this massive medical campus, complete with 2 hospitals, a medical clinic, a medical university, and a research facility. If you happen to miss the last episode, then be sure to click on the info card above, or if you're looking to binge watch a new Cities Skylines 2 series, then check out the entire Pine Harbor County playlist in the description below. Today we are going to breathe life into Alders Bend by providing the city some services and zoning. So if you're excited to see Alders Bend come to life, then hit that like button and stay tuned to the end to see how the build comes to life. Alrighty, let's jump right on into it. So right away, you may have noticed that I've already laid out the road framework kind of off camera while I was messing around with some tentative building plans. Instead of recreating the roads this episode, I chose to leave the layout as is so we can actually focus more on the aesthetics of the build than the layout of the roads. So let's start with our town hall, and just like what we did over in Pine Grove, we are going to use the welfare office as a stand-in to the actual city hall asset. Now, I want to create some unique angles in this build, so we are actually going to place the welfare office on the right angle, or not the right angle, the kind of angled road right here. And by putting the asset here, we actually create this little bit of, I guess, an entrance to the city in a sense. So let's just pop this in really quickly here so I can kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. Do want it just a little bit off Daffodil Street. Right like that. And now if I come kind of down to the road angle here, you can see it right here from this entrance, and it kind of almost serves as like a, hey, welcome to the town sort of feel. At least to me it does. Next, Alders Bend is going to need some school services, and if we just pop into our info view very quickly, we're not awful for schools, but I would still like some more. So let's add in the school assets, and I think we're going to place the urban high school and probably just the medium elementary school, I don't know if I want to call this base game per se, but the base game. Not one of the new ones we got with the detailers patch, but the original. For now, I will be adding the playground, medical clinic, and extended wings to the elementary school. And the high school, I will probably add the extension wings, but leave this particular upgrade deactivated until we can really determine whether or not we need it. So let's start with the elementary school and let's get that right on in there. All right, so I am actually going to leave the urban high school extension off for now, and I'm doing that mainly because it's too much height in my opinion. So this is with it on in comparison to what the city hall / welfare office looks like, and that is with it off. I want to leave it off because of that reason. That reason being the height, so that it kind of layers a little bit more naturally. I don't see an issue with the rooftop park though. I do actually kind of like that a little bit there. So let's now come in, let's put these down for the districts. And assign each one to Alder's Bend. That way they prioritize this area for their student capacity first. We'll also rename everything. And I almost want to put a park in right here. Okay, I think I like how that came out for the most part. And just while we're in Surface Painter, let's just kind of turn this into a nice little future garden area. There we go. Perfect. Now for some police, fire protection, a water supply, and some death care. We are going to put these assets in off the other side of our medical campus, and I'm going to play around with the newer assets that we got back in the detailers patch. And let's start with the fire protection. So I'm going to come on in, and we are going to grab the urban fire department, and I want to snuggle this kind of right in at the end of this road off of Belmont Lane. So we get this sort of height happening in this area. If you haven't realized yet today's episode is pretty much brought to you by layering your assets so that there are some nice heights. I'm not really sure what else to call it, but just the staggering of the roof here to the Research Institute to the Medical University, that little ladder, it's so nice in my opinion. I love playing with heights in this game so much. And now to kind of continue with that theme of heights, I want to complement the urban fire department with one of the original water towers. And so much of this is just because I love how these two assets look. We don't currently need much in water, so we will probably leave this asset off. I just really love the fire department water tower duo. Just look at that. It's so good. All the heights. And the white and color really complements the rest of the build. I feel like they made the Research Institute and the Medical University literally with, you know, people who like to fuse assets together in mind. because it's just so good and so nice. All right, let's see if I can finagle this to be a little nicer. The viewing deck just got added impulsively. I regret nothing on that one. All right, next up is our urban police station. And honestly, I just want to snuggle it right in here on this four-way interchange. For me, just allowing a rather blockier asset to make an otherwise wow. I don't know what I just hit there, but that was a whole lot of buttons. Anyway, it sounds weird to say chunky square asset on, you know, square interchange, but for me, it looks nicer when an asset that's square in nature is right up on a right angle. Definitely a personal preference there. But I'm from an area that has a lot of twisty, turny, rural roads. So I kind of just like a nice grid sometimes. Which means I also really like a nice four-way interchange. So that's how everything's kind of coming together there. So you've got the 3 layers of height going police station, fire station, and water tower. And the same on this side, with a nice smattering of trees. All right, finally, something I am wicked excited for, Deathcare. I'm going to be adding 2 cemeteries because I'm kind of wondering if the disease sweeping through Pine Harbor County is caused by the surplus of dead bodies. And I don't even know if there's really necessarily a surplus. I was just looking at this figure here while working on last week's episode and noticed that our crematoriums only have a 1,200 handling capacity. We've got about 5,700 deaths per month. You would think the cemeteries would be able to make up for the crematoriums, but if I kind of turn around here and look back at Brayburn, there's so many hearses and hearse icons. So I like the cemeteries. I kind of enjoyed making fusioned cemeteries back when we created Bunyan's Rest. So we're going to do something similar. So let's come on in and we are going to turn on all of our snapping again. And we are going to pop one there. And right here. And I'm just going to kind of preemptively decorate up this area with some add-ons, pathways, etc. Okay, so this is kind of what we came up with here. A little bit of a custom park up here. I was going to make another custom park right here, but I think I'm actually going to leave it blank for now so that we can eventually come in and maybe put some row housing in there. I will just very quickly sneak in some grass. Just right here, just to kind of make it still seem like it's like a groomed, well-kept area for, you know, people to mourn loved ones and things like that. Put one more right on this other side here. There we go. Perfect. Next, I want to create a bit of a transit hub with space for 3 tram lines and 1 bus line to add to the Pine Harbor County Rapid Transit. Fart. And honestly, I've been watching a lot of other content creators mess around with the Road Builder mod, which has kind of inspired me to do something a bit funky. So if you are excited to see the Road Builder mod in our vanilla game setting, hit that like button, and if you know other vanilla players who may be interested to see how we create this transit hub, share that video with them. Now, maybe this will come out cool, maybe this will be a bit underwhelming when all is said and done, but honestly, we won't know until we give it a try. So let's jump on in and build a bit of a transit hub. Next, let's draw in the tram lines, and I think for now I'm just going to do 2 of the 3 I have planned for this area. One line will go over to Ashton, and the other will be servicing the east side of Alders Bend that we have just kind of finished construction. Alrighty everyone, let's start wrapping up today's episode with a Beautifying the Build time lapse. We will decorate this area with some trees, bushing, and also add in some zoning, so kick back, relax, and please enjoy! Alrighty everyone, I think that just about wraps up today's episode. Today we have finished the eastern half of Valdersben by providing the city with services, zoning, and public transportation. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please like and subscribe and share this video with your friends. If there is a part of this build you like or any suggestions for the western half of Valdersben, then please let me know down in the comments. Next week we are going to change gears slightly and return to Pinecrest Junction and add some much needed industrial piers to the area, so be sure to tune in next week to catch that episode. Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.